believes has their best interest at heart is telling them, you shouldn't do it. And if you don't have the fortitude, that makes me think about what I always tell you. You have to test the fruit too. Yeah. Because the reality of the fact, a lot of people, out of good faith, welcome to another episode of Can I Grow with Liv and Road Dog. Girl.
What's new?
Ro told me to start this episode with banter, and I suck at banter, girl. So what's up? What's new in your life?
Girl, I'd rather ask you first. What's new, girl? Anything fun happening in your world?
Yes, so me and my man are going on a trip next week. We don't know where we're going. We're doing this thing where we're picking a random country to go, and we're just gonna pick it like the day before and go there. I'm really excited.
How y'all gonna pick though?
Huh?
How you
so
gonna
we're gonna fly with Delta. So we're gonna go and see what flights are available with Delta that day. And
the day that you're going.
The day before. So we're gonna
see
we're gonna see what flights are available, and I told him already I want to go somewhere warm, so we're gonna pick somewhere warm and we're gonna just wing it.
Is it gonna be somewhere you never been?
Yes, so we're choosing somewhere. He's been to like 50 million places, but we're gonna choose somewhere I never been, somewhere warm. So I'll let you guys know where we go. So that is on a personal level, and I'm working on my man got the tattoo to prove it.
Oh gosh, get my name tatted so you know it's real.
I got my first tattoo and I'm so pressed.
When she texted me about the tattoo, what did you say? You're like, me and my man got a matching tattoo. I said, what y'all get? And you're like, our names. I said, child, stop playing with me. I knew you wouldn't do that.
We didn't get our names. We got love is from the Corinthians. Love is patient, love is kind. So it's a constant reminder for us to be to each other what God says love is. So shout out to my man. Thank you to my man. How about you? So what's up in your life, girl?
What's new? Work is work, but
don't talk more exciting.
Work is work. What's new? Work is work, but I'm gonna be moving in a few weeks. I currently live in Virginia. I'll be moving to North Carolina.
Pause. I really want you to give the energy that I'm feeling. I'm so freaking excited for this move for Rolanda, but we're going to that later. I'm so excited.
I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I'm excited it's happening. At least it's happening, but I'm like nervous, and I'm just kind of like anticipating, don't know what to expect. I got a place that I wasn't able to see because the current tenant, she wouldn't allow the realtor that I sent out there to do a virtual showing, so I'm a little nervous about that. So it's just a lot of nervous stuff going on, but I'm excited. And me and my babies, we moving. So we out of here.
Do you want to share with our audience? You said you currently live in Richmond,
Virginia.
Do you want to share with our audience where you're moving?
I'm moving to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
So, I'll be moving soon, and I want to take everybody on a journey with me. I think I'm going to try to document a little bit on social.
I think you should vlog it, girl. Vlog.
Yeah. I want to do one of those like move-in transitions. I was actually thinking about doing that transition that's been on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen it. You and Anthony could probably do it when y'all go on y'all trip. But basically you're like in the airport and then you jump over the phone.
And you're
in the country in a new outfit. I was trying to do that. I want to stand by the like Virginia's for Lovers sign and then like hug the kids and stuff, and then like telling them come on.
They should have their backpacks. You should have a suitcase. It'd be super cute.
And then we jump, and then it's like this venue in Charlotte that I want to have our next shot in.
That's gonna be super cute.
So stay tuned for that, y'all.
So I want to dig, bro. I want you to tell the people, why are you moving? Like what prompts you to pick up your two kids from Richmond, where all your family live minutes away? You have your support system. You grew up in Richmond, so your family, your friends, your childhood friends, your children's father, their father's side, everybody is in Richmond. Pick up your kids and move to North Carolina, a state where you know nobody except for your office.
I've been wanting to move for a long time. I've always known I wanted to relocate. Because I've grown up. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Moved back after college, and that's all I've known. So I've been knowing I wanted to move, but the confirmation was when I got my current job. It's stationed in Charlotte. Yeah. So I was choosing between Charlotte, Atlanta. At first I was gonna do Atlanta, but I'm like, you live in Atlanta, I'm only gonna come and be with you. Yeah. I want to have a reason why I'm coming. That's bigger than you.
And the space to recreate yourself. Not that bigger. Don't play me.
I'm just glad that's bigger. No, I get it. I'm just joking. Like then just because my friend lives there. Yeah. So yeah.
And they give you the space too to recreate yourself.
Exactly. So yeah, it was either between Charlotte, Atlanta, or like Texas. Yeah. You know, I feel like everybody wants to move to Texas. Yeah. But once I got the job, I was like, you know what? Charlotte it is. And I just wanted to wait until my kids were school age. Because a big fear, I don't know, all the moms y'all know, daycare. Yeah. I already had our daycare and everything situated here. I felt safe. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to worry about moving them and then having to get them in daycare. And then, I don't know. I was just a little weary about that. So I wanted to move when they were school age. So my daughter will be starting pre-K next year. And my son will be in first grade. Yeah. So I'm like, it's a perfect time for us. And they're still young to where I can move. And they haven't really built that many friendships. They're not solidified in where they are.
Yeah. It's the perfect time.
Yeah.
I'm just super excited for her, y'all. Like, I feel like I'm moving low-key. But I was super excited for her because I remember the first time I met Rolanda in college. Like, we were talking, not the first, but when we actually started being real good friends, you were talking about how you had this dream to move to New York. And you had this dream to move to New York and become a singer and, you know, do Broadway and all of these things. And you weren't able to do that going into college because you went the safe route of going to Hampton. Yeah. And then when we were graduating, you brought up the dream again. You said, man, I really want to move somewhere new. You said, even if it's not New York, I want to go somewhere else. And at the time, you were in your relationship and you then again made the safe decision to move back home to pursue your relationship with him. And then life just started lifing and had you. So I feel like since I met you, you had this fire in you to leave your hometown and go somewhere and have the opportunity to embark in a journey that's bigger than you. And although it didn't happen at, you know, during that time, I feel like right now I just feel so excited for, like, literally I feel so excited for you. I be telling even my daddy, I'm like, Rolanda's moving, because I just feel like this step that you're taking, this bold step where you don't know what's gonna come out of it, I feel like so much is gonna come out of it. I feel like in a couple of years I'm about to be at your wedding. I feel like you're about to start some businesses, and I'm just like so hyped for you.
Listen, let's manifest it, because I'm excited, but I don't want to get too excited. I don't know why I don't want to get too excited. That might just be me.
You don't want to get your hopes up too high.
Get my hopes up too high, and then I don't even want to speak anything negative about me going. But I'm super nervous, and sometimes it takes me speaking to people, because I remember talking to my beautician about me moving. She was kind of like feeling like you. She was like, dang girl, that's bold, you know? And I was like, dang, it is bold. And when someone says that to you, you kind of start to think like, should I be doing this? Like that fear starts to come in. And that's kind of like what I think we want to touch on a little bit here, is that having faith over fear. Yes. Because I think a lot of us, in this world and in this life, we allow our fear to hold us captive. And honestly, if you have faith, why do you need fear? Exactly. What is fear and worrying ever done to anyone? Exactly. You know?
This whole episode we're about to talk about today, the faith over fear episode, we're talking about taking that bold step when you have no real assurance that the step you're gonna take is gonna actually work out or it's gonna yield any fruit, but in your gut you have this nudge. I call it the Holy Spirit. You may not believe in the Holy Spirit, but you have this nudge in your gut, like, do it.
Yeah, and in other words, that intuition. Yeah. Having the intuition or the feeling that's in your gut to tell you. So, and just following that gut, because I think we have that with anything in life. Even outside of us taking risky decisions, making wrong decisions in life. I think we have that gut feeling often, you know, but sometimes people don't want to listen to it. Yeah. Because of that fear.
The fear. And I think fear the fear really comes into play when, specifically in this season where we're talking about grow, can I grow? We've been thinking a lot about like the stages of growth.
Yeah.
And it led us back to, we keep thinking about plants and flowers.
Yeah.
And it led us
planting
back.
That seed.
Exactly. So it led us back to the first step of growth. Before a flower even becomes a flower, somebody has to take a seed and put it in the ground and plant it. Before anything happens, it has to be put in the ground. And that led me to think about this episode. Like, when you take a seed and you put it in the ground, you take something with a lot of potential and you bury it somewhere dark.
Yeah.
That's hidden and nothing is there. There's no sunlight, no glimpse of anything. And I think that happens with us too when we have that seed within us, like, you know, like, you're like, man, I feel like I've outgrown Richmond. I need something new.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go somewhere that's the dark, meaning like, you really don't know what is going to come out of this. There's nobody around, just like that seed is in the ground by itself.
Yeah.
And you're just hoping that sunlight is going to hit you and spark, and water is going to come down to drench your thirst to start that growth process.
Yeah. And I think the most important thing is also not allowing, you know, everyone around you to stop you from wanting to take that. You may have that gut feeling. I think you should follow that rather than allowing the world, because they could put in all that fears on you and kind of make you feel like maybe you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, just because they're nervous. Because I have gotten so many people who say, you know, you're leaving your support system, you know. And how are you gonna, you're not gonna be able to stop, drop, and do things like you used to, and you know, and all of that is kind of like scary, but it's like all I can do is do my part and just pray and hope that the decision and the feeling that I'm feeling is gonna pay off. Because when I think about life has shown me that, you know, things have happened in my life where I took a chance and it panned out. So
that even makes me think of my transition into tech. So a little backstory, just so y'all can know where I'm coming from. I got an undergraduate in psychology, went to grad school got my master's in therapy. I'm actually a trained therapist that's not working. So I got my master's, and after I got while I was getting my master's, I worked as a waitress for a while, and not just like a regular waitress. I'm gonna be real transparent. Like, I was working at a waitress at a lot of like bars and clubs and like, you
bottle
know, girl
vibes. But you
I kind of was a bottle girl at one point. I ain't gonna lie, because somebody gonna watch this and be like, you did actually bring me a bottle of Moet before. But yeah, so it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But so yeah, while I was in school getting my master's, I started waitressing and all of those things. And I remember, like, and then after I graduated, therapy, long story short, therapy was just not working for me for several reasons. I'll go into that later, but it just was not working. I knew that it was not where I needed to be at that moment, so I just kept on waitressing. But I remember waitressing, going to work one day, and I had this overwhelming feeling like, Olivia, what are you doing here? Literally, like, I think I walked past some of my coworkers. No shade if this was you, but walked past some of my coworkers talking about how they just pulled a Nigerian with the, you know, things like that. And no shade to anybody, but that wasn't me. That didn't reflect who I was as a person. That environment didn't reflect what God had for me. That environment didn't reflect my potential. I just felt like, so I went to work one day and I felt like I don't know if it was an anxiety attack or whatever it was. I felt like I couldn't breathe, like I was like suffocating, like stuck. And I was like, it's kind of like the scales were lifted from my eyes. Like, what are you doing, Olivia? Like, what are you doing? You got a booty short on, got on booty shorts, about to wear wings and a bottle for this man. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what are you doing? This environment is in no way, shape, or form conducive to you and what you want, who you're called to be, your future. So I remember like having that panic attack, and I called my roommate at the time, my friend Ella. I walked out to where the hookah people were, you know, putting the coals on. I said, Ella, I don't know what's going on right now, but I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. And she said, why don't you just leave? Like, simple as that. And I don't know, that's just like the ammunition I needed that to like just
to do it. It's like you wanted to, but you were kind of scared because you didn't know what you were walking into.
Exactly.
So you were like, I can stay over here where it's warm.
Yeah.
Or I can go to
exactly, because I mean, waitressing in Atlanta, you make a good bit of money.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I wasn't struggling or anything. So I was like, But then I remember as soon as I left, I talked to God. I said, God, I need you.
Yeah.
I need you. I don't know what to do. Like, I need you. So after I left, long story short, randomly, this person that I met coincidentally through the club had posted something about IT, reached out to him, and long story short, I learned IT. You know, he taught me IT and all those things, learned it, and ended up getting my first job. But what I thought about when you talked about sometimes people having the best intentions for you and telling you to take the safe way out, the reason why I give that backstory is because during my journey to learning IT, it was difficult. It was really difficult. There was times where I literally did not understand. I was reading, I'm coming from psychology, learning IT. It was like a different language. And I remember one of my friends saw just how stressed I was and how like I was broke at that time because I'm not waitressing anymore, so there's no money coming in.
Yeah.
So I'm broke, I'm stressed. And she said, Olivia, like, with all sincerity of heart, I don't think she had any negative intention. She said, why are you doing this to yourself? She said, why don't you just go get another waitressing job, take that money, and, you know, invest in a new business? And what she was saying made logical sense because literally I was sucking at IT, sucking. But in my gut, I knew that I needed to take that bold step. And I'm so proud of myself for, despite what she was saying in good heart, she was speaking out of fear. And I had faith in my heart that the seed that I was planting was going to germinate and bloom.
You got to be able to decipher that too.
Yeah.
Decipher whether that comment or the I can't think of how to describe it. You got to be able to decipher where the message is coming from. That's all I would say. If the message is coming from fear or, you know, love, you got to be able to decipher that. And I think it came from a little bit of both.
Yeah,
a little bit of both. But I think that's important because I know sometimes, especially when you have people in your life that you trust, you got to be able to say, like, you know, well, what are they doing with their life too? You know, how are they doing things that I desire for me? You got to look at the source sometimes.
You got to look at the source, bro. But I don't know about other people. For me, my source is God. Like, that's my ultimate source, my end all be all. And if I feel as if God has said something to me, or I feel, because there's a difference.
But you have that feeling though, Liv. What if you can't? What if the person don't have it?
And that's a good question. I feel as if God is in all of us. Yeah. And there's no way that he talks to me, he doesn't talk to somebody else. But I think he talks to us in different ways. Right. If you're in a situation where you feel completely uncomfortable, you feel as if like you're outgrown this situation, all the signs are around you that literally, if I stay in this environment, my growth has been stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's no growth. I think that right there, you don't need any more confirmation that this level right there, you've passed it. It's time to go to another level. I think that's what it is. And people call it a nudge. Some people call it intuition. All those things. Those are just different signs that God communicates things to you. So that's a concrete way. Thanks for that question. That's a concrete way. So if I know that I have like signs and evidence from God that I need to do something or that I've outgrown something, anything someone else says to me out of my body is either confirmation or not, or confirmation to or not do it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but it's like, what if you also have a lot of people in your life, and this is just, you know, for people who may be going through this, you know, have a lot of people in your life who's speaking negatively about what you're choosing to do. But you have a feeling, you know, how do you know which way to lean? Like, how are you so confident that this is what God wants for you? When there's so many people around you telling you no.
I think that's what goes back to faith. Yeah. What is faith? Faith is the evidence of things unseen. Yeah. It's evidence of things unseen. So the whole essence of faith is you believing strongly in something that has no tangible representation. Like you literally, it's crazy. Like Pastor Mike Todd talks about crazy faith. Faith is you believing in something that seems impossible, that seems crazy. And it takes for people to not believe in you. Think about all the people that did the wildest thing. Someone one day came and said, I'm going to create something that flies in the air with human beings in it. Of course people thought they were insane. Yeah. but they had that radical feeling within them. And I think sometimes if you don't tap into that radicalness into you, then you tap into the fear, and what you have in you dies, and God just allows for somebody else to do it.
Yeah. And sometimes I think you just got to push through with that, because I even have people in my life who, you know, they want to do things, but they're scared because the person that they trust the most, a parent, a best friend, you know, the person who they, you know, believes has their best interest at heart, is telling them, you know, you shouldn't do it. And if you don't have the fortitude,
you know, that makes me think about what I always tell you. You have to test the fruit too. Because the reality of the fact is, a lot of people out of good faith, good heart, can only speak to you or give you advice based on their own perception and what they've been exposed to.
Exactly.
They can only, like, if you're talking about you want to be the next billionaire, and you're talking, no shade, you're talking to your mother who never made it past 1,000 year, you know? Of course that's going to be something she can't conceptualize. If you are a boy in the hood and you're saying, I want to be a CEO, and your mom has worked her butt off every day, you know, trying to make ends meet. She's never even met a CFO before she met a CEO. And she's like, baby, just try to get a good job. You know what I'm trying to say? That's all she's seen. So I think sometimes you have to test your source, you know? And see that their perspective is from the best of their ability. But if God gave you vision that goes past that, I think you should bet on yourself, baby.
So I know I speak to you a lot about, like, moving back home after college. You kind of get exposed to some of the people that you grew up with, and you see people who, you know, really don't have a desire to do anything more than what they're doing. And so sometimes that makes you, if you don't have the fortitude, that's why I keep saying, if you don't have the mindset and you're easily manipulated, you're easily influenced, you will fall into just living an average life or just doing what's comfortable, what's warm, what you've always known, rather than seeking more. And I think that it's important that even if you haven't seen it being done, who's to say that you can't do it?
And that makes me think about you too, because I know a lot of times, I hate when you do this, and I always tell you, when you call, you're like, am I crazy, Liv? Or you're like, am I crazy for wanting this? Am I crazy? I'm like, no. No, the fact that you have that desire to do that means you can do it. Like, you can. My dad used to say something to me always growing up, and I pray to always install that in my son. He said, if it's been done before, it can be done again and better by you. If anything that's been done can be done again, and you can improve it.
Heck yeah. I'm huge on, like, dream building. I think it's so important, because kids have so many dreams. I see it in my own. Like, my son, he told me, I remember I told you, he said, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Like, he speaks it.
That's my baby.
I believe that. Like, if that's what you desire. And cause what did he say? Because we went to her son's christening, and her dad was ministering. And he said, what did your dad say?
He said, whatever you have, if you put it in God's hands, he will bless it and make it greater.
Make it greater. And my son came home, and he's only 6. And he said to me, Mom, if I'm going to put it in God's hands that I'm going to be a millionaire, and he's going to make it, he's going to make it happen. And I was like, it kind of made me tear up a little bit.
When you called me, it made me tear up too. I told Anthony, oh my gosh, you know what Cassidy said?
Right. Like, it's just so crazy that even that young, that they can even be able to formulate that or think that far ahead, you know? And I think that that's where sometimes them dream killers start.
I was about to say that. I don't even think it's crazy that it's that young. I think when they're that young, they're so, like, it's so precious how they believe anything. They believe anything in other people, and they believe anything in themselves. That's why in the Bible God says, Jesus says, like, you, in order to make it to heaven, you're gonna have to have faith like these little children. Like, he was talking to his disciples, and pretty much what he was saying was that, like, these children have, like, blind faith. Like, they just believe without having to see. And I see that in, like, Cassidy and stuff like that. Like, in little children, they believe in themselves without even needing the evidence. They believe in adults without needing evidence. And as you grow, life just perverts your belief system so much that you start to not believe in other people and then not believe in yourself.
And life be life. And that's why I always just try to motivate him, because, like, now his new dream is, like, the other day he was walking around the house bouncing the basketball, and he's like, when I'm in the NBA, Mom, I'm gonna do something. I think he said he wants to dunk on LeBron James or something like that, he said. And he just says it so easily, like when I'm in the NBA. But I think it's important for me as a mom to ensure that he has those qualities to achieve those goals. Because it's one thing to have a dream, but faith without work is dead. And I think it's important that I'm like, okay, try your best. Kind of, you know, what we were saying a little bit in the Imposter episode. But having that fortitude to say, try your best. If you don't have to be the best. I don't need you to make a jump shot. I don't need you to shake up this person and break this person's ankles. As he says all this. Try your best. Like, if you can, all you can do is run to the basketball court, I want you to be the fastest one running. If all you can do is dribble one time, I want you to make it your best. You know, like, just try your hardest, and that's all you can do. And at the end of it, mommy, did I try my best? I always say, like, did you try your best? Do you feel you tried your best? And then if he didn't try his best, he'll tell me, I didn't try my best. You know, so next time do better. That's all you can do. So I think that's important because I'm big on trying to like support their dreams. However crazy it sounds, I'm big on wanting to support their dreams because I think it's important.
And I love that. I love that you even pointed out the fact that supporting their dreams starts with building character.
Heck yeah.
It makes me think of something my dad used to say, God, my dad, shout out to my dad, obviously, he was a good parent. But he used to always say, good, better, best. May I never rest till my good is better and my better is best. And literally, like, he used to make us recite that, and it just makes me think of that, like how it's okay that Cassidy, I mean, may not be the best basketball player right now. Even if when he becomes in a teenager, he might not be the best basketball player as a teenager, but if you install those characteristics within him to always want to become a better person and always want to just work hard, and that is what helps him elevate to the point when it's his time to bloom, he will, which goes right back to what we were talking about, planting that seed. That you may be at the place where you're taking a bold move, like for you, your bold move is picking up your 2 kids and moving somewhere where you know nothing and know no one. But you may not know nobody, you may not know anything, but the reality of what you do know is that you have the work ethic, you have the characteristics, and you have the willpower
and the tools
so that you will do your best, so that when opportunity meets with preparation, there's nothing but you know.
And that's what I try to tell people, because even when they say, you know, because I do rely on my family now a lot for support, but that's because they're right there. So it's like, if I need to go to the nail shop or I need to do something, I'm quick to I can call somebody and, you know, I can do what I need to do to get done. But when I move, that's going to be different. So all I can do is do my due diligence. Funny, because I know preparation is key for the move. I already know that, and that's something that I kind of struggle with. But I feel like my kids are going to be the ones to help me to get better, because my daughter even told me, she's 4. She's like, Mommy, when we move, we need to put a calendar on the fridge, and we need to make sure we write down everything that we're going to do each day so we don't forget. And then she's like, and I want a morning routine and a night routine. And I'm like, I need to do that. It's hard because I'm not as organized as I should be, which I know that's what I struggle with. But in order to do this and not be stressed out, I need to do better. So,
girl, hearing you talk about that makes me realize that you have just graduated to the next level. I feel like while you were in Richmond, although you wanted to leave from there, you were working on a lot of things we were talking about characteristic wise, like within yourself. You went through the healing process, the self-work, all of that. And now that you're moving to Charlotte, I feel like you're graduating to the next part where like you're working on like the logistics of your life. You're another layer of things, like getting more organized, getting other personal growth
because I won't have the reliance and the flexibility that I had before. It's going to basically just force me to be a better person.
So it's just
to evolve.
These are all just a part of becoming.
Heck yeah.
And I love that for you, because I'm
scared though.
Girl, I know you're scared,
stressed.
But you're being bold. You're doing what a lot of people don't do. Remember I talk to you all the time about the people who die before they die?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people who like would just be like, I'm gonna just live in Richmond, be with my family, live subpar.
Right.
I
have an affordable mortgage. My mortgage, I bought my house at a great interest rate.
But like, you're being bold enough to say no. Like, I actually, as I live this life, I'm gonna live it to my fullest. And girl, like, I'm hyped. I'm sorry. I'm just excited.
Yeah. When you gave your story around like going into the tech field, it made me think about how I even got to where I am today. I was working it was after graduation. Mm-hmm. I was going through post-grad blues, which I think we're going to touch on one day. Yeah. But I was suffering from that, and I remember I was still living with my parents at the time because I had just graduated. It wasn't even like a year after graduation. And I needed a job. I really just needed a job to fund my lifestyle. I remember we were traveling, like we went to Jamaica, or like we were doing little things, and I needed money to just fund that. Yeah. So there was this job hiring. I was applying to jobs. I was not getting a job. So I applied to this job. It was the call center. Y'all, it's one of those call centers where you walk in and they hire you on the spot. So I was only making like $9 an hour. This was in 2016. I was making $9 an hour, a college grad. I was in there with people who, and I don't want to say it that way because they were amazing people, but I felt like, why am I here? You know? And I had to like humble myself to have that job. I had to humble myself, and I did it, but I met some amazing people there. Yeah. And that goes into why God places you in places where you're like, why am I here? Like, why am I worked so hard in college. I can't even get a job that's basically on my level, making what I want to make. Yeah. And I met this guy, and he told me, well, what do you want to do, Rolanda? And I was like, well, I want to go into social media. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, you should look into T-Mobile. He was like, you should look into T-Mobile. They have a great social media presence. They love social media. He was like, you should look into them. And I didn't think nothing of it at the time. But probably I ended up leaving that job, getting another call center job, making a little bit more money. And then a posting came for T-Mobile as a social media specialist. And I remember I was like, wow, he said something about this. So I applied. They hired me. And the way that I even got hired, they don't normally do it. It was called like street to seat. So basically, most of the people who were in that role had started at the call center. Yeah. So they chose me from off the street, and I was able to just get in that role without any prior training. And so that was just one sign that this was right for me. And after that, I got that role, and I was in that role for probably like a couple years, but I still wasn't where I wanted to be because I was getting an hourly wage. I just wasn't where I wanted to be yet. And by that time I had started to have my children. And I remember there was a job posting in our brand center, because the one thing I love, and I want to tell you this, if you're in a job that you're not where you want to be at now, but the job has opportunity for growth, like it's a great company, I do want to tell you to like take that step and take that leap. Start off where you are, but do your thing so that you can promote and grow within that company. Because I remember there was a opening for like their brand side, which is the corporate side, where I really wanted to be, and I applied for the role, but the only exception was that I would have to relocate to Seattle, Washington. Yeah, Seattle, Washington. And I was in Virginia with 2 kids. And at the time, my kids were small, y'all. They were probably like, my daughter was months and my son was like maybe 2 or 3. And I was like, I'm gonna apply. And so I remember I called my mom, and I ain't throwing no shade to my mom, but I remember I called her and I was like, Mom, it's a job for our brand team, and I'm gonna apply. But they said they will pay for relocation though. So I was like, they will pay for the relocation, but I will have to relocate to Seattle. And she was like, you crazy. She basically called me like dumb as hell for applying. You got babies. You crazy as hell for applying to that job.
You know you're about to make your mama mad, right?
Love you, Bobby. Love you. I know, but again, it was what we said in the beginning.
We're gonna be open, honest.
No, but not even that. It was her fear. She was speaking from a place of fear,
and a place of love too.
And a place of love, exactly. So no shade to mama, but she told me that, like, and it kind of made me mad. But y'all, if you know my personality, if you tell me I can't,
for love's proving people wrong.
If you told me I can't, that's more important to make me show you that I can. So I said, forget it. I'm gonna apply. So I applied. I went through this whole interview process, and it was right before COVID happened. Long story short, after a long process, I ended up getting a job, but COVID happened, and so they made my job remote. So I did not have to move. I ended up getting promoted and being in corporate America and really just living out my dreams without knowing that one little seed of, hey girl, you should apply to this job at a job where I thought I was better than, honest, to be quite frank. And I just went on faith. Fear over faith. Like, I was scared to have to relocate, but I knew I wanted more. How was I ever going to achieve more?
Yeah. So I think all of that just says it doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter where you start. Take that step. Plant that seed. Whatever that seed look pretty.
Right.
Waitressing did not look really pretty, but to be honest with you, I needed that too. Because I felt like it was beneath me too. I felt like, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah.
But the reality was, it wasn't. I mean, granted, I wouldn't do it again.
I wouldn't work at Mindy's
I think that it taught me a lot of valuable lessons. It taught me how to love and appreciate people.
Yeah, and
at all levels.
Appreciate where you are now, because like, you worked. I speak about that a lot to my coworkers now. When you start in the trenches, it makes the reward so much sweeter. Like it. When you get to where you want to get, it makes it like, listen.
And a lot of times those things tie into where you're going to. Like, for instance, everything you learned during that time in some way tied into where you are now, where you're going.
All the storyline.
Me working in that waitressing thing ties along where I am now, because I always talk, I feel called to do something for God. I don't know what God wants me to do, but I feel called to do something. And ain't no way anybody can come to you and say they feel called to do something for God and they don't love people. That's the number one sign.
I've been telling her this for a while, y'all. I don't know what happened. It might be her husband. I think he done got into my friend, but I've been telling you this since I met you. I've been telling you this, and you're like, girl, I don't got time for all that. But now you're like, you're embracing it.
I hate over spirituality, but I realize I'm over spiritual anyways. But I say all that
without even trying.
Without trying, I actually try not to be. That's the thing. I try not to be spiritual, and it just, Jesus be like, say it. I'm like, okay, I got it.
Literally, this girl, I remember in college, it was a big accident. You know, I'm gonna tell the story. It was a boy on our campus. Rest in peace to him. He committed suicide by jumping from our library.
Yeah,
he was in our library, like, and he jumped to his death, and everyone was. It was just mourning and a lot going on. The vibe was just. It
was very heavy
on campus, and they called Liv to come and pray over everybody. Like, she led that as a freshman. I feel like you were a freshman in college.
Yeah, I think I was like a freshman or something.
And they called her to pray over everyone, and I knew right then that people from the time I was young, people were like, you're called, and I'm like, I don't want to be called. My dad always said, do you think God cares? I'm like, I don't. Like, I actually do not. Like, in all actuality, I don't. But I say all that to say I think it was important for me. Were you gonna say something? Yeah, you're speaking from a place of fear.
I might be speaking from because I know what comes with it, and I don't want it.
You're fear. It's fear though. All of that is fearful. You don't know what to expect. I don't want it, you're comfortable.
But it might be Anthony, because Anthony said something to me one time. He said it's kind of disrespectful for you to say you don't want, because it doesn't matter what you want if that's what God called you to do. And I was like, whew. I don't want to be disrespectful to God. I'll be disrespectful to anybody.
When you put it like that.
I'll be disrespectful to my mama before I be disrespectful to God. So, but I say all that to say about how sometimes we feel like where we are is beneath us. A lot of times it's not. It's a part of your process of what you need to go to. Because I needed to be in that waitressing place because I learned how to value everybody. I can meet someone that does anything. I mean, I can meet a homeless person, I can meet a CEO, and I value as a person because I have grown to have that heart where, like, I see greatness. I literally see greatness in any and everybody. And I think I needed to go into waitressing to see that, to see true love and value for everybody, even the people that I looked at and like, oh, she's a this, she's a trick, or she's, you know,
not a trick.
No, I mean, but it's true. A lot of them were sleeping for money, but nevertheless, I see worth in them. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, you're a valuable trick.
You're a valuable trick. I'm just joking. But you need to stop tricking. But you are valuable.
You mean something.
You mean something, and you're special in the sight of God.
But yeah, I think that we all need that humbling experience.
Yeah,
it's honestly a humbling experience.
Yeah.
I think anyone in life, shoot, the most famous people always tell you about their humbling experience. I feel like famous people always say they were homeless.
Yeah. You need.
I wonder how true though.
Some of them be lying,
right?
Because people love a sap story. You know when I was trying to get into college, I I milked the heck out of my story of coming from Liberia to
you
America.
Ain't play. Live didn't play. She will work hard. You a hustler. That's one thing I can say. She is a hustler.
Everybody gonna know that my family and I came here because of a war in my country. But nevertheless, I think people do milk sad stories. But your struggles and stuff you go through causes you to build character. So that when it's time to to plant that seed, like how we're talking about, you're planting it with a level of boldness because you know what is at risk. You know that if I don't plant the seed, I'm either gonna go backwards or I'm gonna be stuck. So I know what I need to do, and I just want to encourage everybody that is in that place where they're contemplating taking that step. Be like, bro, go on and move. And you might be moving
whatever your faith
whatever
is,
your move is,
whether it's leaving that job, whether it's starting that new relationship, leaving that relationship, starting a new relationship, taking a chance, like faith over fear.
Taking a chance on your gifts, your talent, betting on yourself. Whatever it is, do it. So we hope this faith over fear episode encourages you and gives you the nudge to do the dang on thing, bro and sis.
We didn't drop our egg, but what is something that let's ask something from the man on the street. What is something that is holding you back out of fear? Tell us in the comments. And if you respond, if
we're gonna choose one person,
one person
this week to bless, that tells us in the comment what something that
holding one thing that is holding them back from growing out of fear.
So y'all really gotta be listening throughout these whole episodes, because at any random time we'll drop our egg and bless somebody. So I think it's a wrap, friend.
All right, girl. Faith over fear.
Faith over fear. Now, y'all can't say we didn't tell y'all.
CLT. I'll be in the building.
What's CLT? Girl, you have to stop using all these acronyms. You know I'm an old lady. I don't know what CLT is, girl. But
Charlotte.
And shout out to my man George behind the camera, like we always do. His info is gonna be at the comment section of this. Until next time. Love y'all.
Like, comment, subscribe.
All that good stuff.
All right.
Bye, y'all. Bye.